Oh, by popular demand, there's a story. There's something I covered a couple months ago, actually about a year ago, wasn't it? Almost a year. It happened back, I think it was September. September 6th? You guys might remember this. You may remember this. It's a lawsuit of a murder of a young man in his own home. His name was Botham Jean. He was killed by a police officer by the name of Amber Guyger. Now, their murder trial took place because the Dallas police officer killed an innocent, unarmed black man in his own home last year. And the case has been winding through the court system, and actually it came up quicker than people expected. So they just wrapped the case today, and they started deliberations. And folks, I want to tell you something. Now, I haven't had the opportunity to watch the entire case, but I did watch a lot of the prosecutor's testimony, the lead prosecutor testimony in the case. And, wow, there's so much about this case. I mean, if you guys remember, Botham Jean, he lived on the fourth floor. Amber Guyger lived on the third floor. She supposedly went to the wrong house accidentally and shot who she thought was an intruder, when actually she was at the wrong apartment at his house, and shot him in his own house as he sat on his couch, as he stood going, "What are you doing in my house?" Shot him in the chest. Well, there's so many damaging things came out about this case, man. When I watched the deliberations, not the deliberations, but actually the prosecutor laid down the case as he's presenting evidence to the jury. I'm watching this, guys, and I want to tell you something. I don't believe that there's any chance that she's going to walk. Except for this. Yeah, she started crying, Johnson. We got a dead, innocent black victim shot by attractive, blonde-haired white officer, and she starts crying. And he used to smoke weed, Johnson, so you know that's going to make it really bad for him. He used to smoke weed, so she had to be afraid of him. So that's the only chance she's got. And look, that's from someone who's read a lot about the case and all the circumstances of the case. It never made sense to me at all how someone was so tired. Voluntarily they did overtime. Wasn't a regular day. Her and her partner, who she's having an affair with, and that's only important because she was texting him after she got off work for a rendezvous. She was up for a rendezvous. But she was so tired, but she was still able to clock out, find the right car, drive the right car home, pull over, talk to her boyfriend for a while, her lover, text him back and forth, then park her car on the wrong level, walk in the building, on a skyline building where you can see the floors. It's not a closed garage. It's an outdoor garage where things would look different from the third and fourth floor. It's totally different look. Not notice any of that. Walk through the doors. Not notice there's it's like three hallways she went down. Not see any fours on any of the doors. Because remember, any threes. Because she lived on the third floor, the fourth floor, third floor. She lived on the third floor. She was on the fourth floor where Botham Jean lived. She didn't see any fours or whatever. Yeah, she didn't see any fours. Get to the wrong door. A door that had a bright red welcome mat. Her house, her apartment had no welcome mat, just concrete. Not notice the difference. And it gets worse because all of that you could go, well, maybe. Johnson, for some reason his door was unlocked. She opens the door and she leaves her key in the door. Now, the prosecutor says that's because she heard Botham Jean outside She heard a TV on in her apartment and her door was open. She went in with her gun out and left the key in the door because she wasn't startled. Because if she would have been startled, logic dictates she took her keys out, put them in her purse, walked on in the apartment, and then be like, oh my God, who's this guy? So they want us to think that's the way it went down. But based on the evidence, it's not. Why'd you leave your keys in the door? Well, she was so tired, Johnson, that she drove all that way and all of a sudden she got really tired. By the time she walked to her apartment, that she also left her keys in the door. Next door neighbors who heard the shots said they didn't hear anybody yell freeze or stop or anything. And Botham Jean, the trajectory of the bullet shows that he had just stood up from the couch. The only words they heard was, hey, from him. Because he was the one startled Johnson. So like I stated, this case is a real slam dunk case. It should be over and done. She should get time for it. And the only chance that she has of not getting time, because they're asking for leniency. The defense wants self-defense. The defense claims self-defense. Though when she called in the shooting, because she phoned in the 911, she didn't say that she was threatened. She said, I made a mistake. I went in the wrong apartment. I went in the wrong apartment. I thought it was my apartment. She never said, this guy tried to attack me. She never said, I think this guy had a gun. She never said that. She just said, I went in the wrong apartment. She said it like 19 times. Later, not the initial call to 911. Later, she said, she was afraid for her life, Johnson. Now, even if that was true, police protocol states that what she should have done was find a secure area to protect herself, duck down, make position, call for backup, not enter into the apartment with your gun out and shoot somebody as soon as they move, which is what it appears she did. Also want to make another thing very clear, guys. Looking at everything, I know in the beginning, I thought maybe it was possible something was up with these two people. Amber Guyger had just moved there. She'd only been living there a couple months. I don't think this was a situation where she meant to kill this man like, I'm going to go kill him because he played music too loud, like he listened to too much Tupac or something, or I don't know, Nelly, or I don't know what you listen to there. Nelly. Why did I say Nelly? Kendrick Lamar or something. I don't know. J. Cole, Kanye, whatever. No. She only been there a couple months. I mean, she hadn't been there long enough to really hate a guy enough to kill him, I don't think. I think this is a case of police being trained to kill people. It just so happens she killed the wrong person. I think she was preoccupied with a rendezvous with the guy she's having it, who's she's sleeping with, having an affair with, thinking about other stuff, not thinking about where she's going at all. Totally should not have had a gun, not been a cop. She totally didn't follow protocol of someone who happens upon a situation where they think someone is in their home. She disobeyed every rule. She broke every rule a cop's supposed to follow. So, but I do not believe, based on what I heard, based on what the evidence shows, I don't think there was anything going on between Botham Jean. I don't think it was premeditated murder, but it was murder, no doubt. So I'll keep you updated on this case as it concludes. We might even find a verdict as early as tomorrow. So I'll try to get this video out in a separate clip so people see it. But I want you to know how much of a travesty of justice this will be. If this woman, Amber Guyger, gets to walk on a case where a man's killed in his own home. And the other possibility for it, let me just add this one last thing. The judge said that the jury was able to consider the castle doctrine. Anybody know what the castle doctrine is? The castle doctrine is you're able to protect your castle, your home. It's sort of like the stand your ground rule. That you're under no duty to retreat if you are protecting your home. Now, many people are arguing, how can you use the castle doctrine when you're in someone else's home? Wouldn't that apply to Botham Jean because he was the one actually in his home? Just so happened, I think her name is Miss Hyde, Pamela Hyde. I think that's the name of the, no, I'm sorry. Tammy Kemp, Judge Tammy Kemp. I'm glad she's a black woman because that's so horrific. A statement and a jury instruction that you could use a law for people that actually live in a home when you don't live in the home. I just think, they do us so badly in this country, it's ridiculous. But I mean black folks. They don't do you wrong too, poor white guys, poor white women, Latino folks, poor anybody, but they just seem like they preserve a certain flavor of disrespect for us. This man was in his own damn house. We're actually having a conversation about, well, maybe since she thought she was in her own house, when she wasn't, and she didn't say freeze or drop it, she didn't phone for backup, but since she thought she was in her own house, just seeing somebody, she should be able to shoot him dead in the chest, send him ass. And she fired twice, Johnson. The first shot just missed his head. She shot twice, once for the head, the other for the chest, hit the second one. And she didn't even perform CPR. When the cops arrived, she was outside the apartment, not inside. She let this man die on the floor of his own apartment, bleed out. She didn't hold his hand like the movies. Hang in there, Botham. Hang in there, brother. I'm sorry, brother. I'm so sorry. None of that. All she kept saying was, she's on the phone with the police explaining that she was in the wrong place and she screwed up. She's texting her boyfriend. This guy's on the floor bleeding out. She ain't in there holding his hand like in the movies. That cry is BS.